Have you ever heard of the Wendigo's curse? In the remote wilderness of the Canadian Rockies, shielded by towering pines and blanketed by a white shroud of snow, you'll find the small, isolated town of Frostwood. Frostwood, with its eerie tranquility, harbors a chilling secret that seeps into the dreams of its residents, lurking within the shadows of the surrounding forest. Legend paints a chilling picture of the Wendigo, a wicked spirit that prowls these lands, feasting upon the souls of the bold and the brave who venture too deep into the wilderness. It is described as a monstrous entity, its antlers twisting like gnarled branches, and eyes that flicker with an insatiable hunger. Most Frostwood inhabitants dismiss these tales of the Wendigo as mere folklore, a figment of their ancestors' imagination passed down through generations. But when a string of inexplicable disappearances rattles the peace of Frostwood, the townsfolk can't help but wonder if the legend holds a grain of truth. Among the lost is Emily, a vivacious young woman known for her adventurous spirit and her affinity for the outdoors. Determined to unravel the mystery of her sudden disappearance, Emily's friends muster the courage to venture into the wilderness, their hearts pounding with a mixture of fear and resolve. As they navigate deeper into the snow-laden forest, an unsettling aura descends upon the group. The trees appear to observe them with sinister intent, their branches extending like skeletal fingers, eager to pull them into the unknown. Yet, they press forward, their desperation to find Emily overpowering their fear. With the descent of night, an eerie silence engulfs the forest. The group huddles together, their breath forming misty clouds in the freezing air. Suddenly, the unmistakable sound of footsteps crunching through the snow sends shivers down their spines. Frozen with fear, they watch in horror as a grotesque figure materializes from the darkness. It is the Wendigo, its eyes ablaze with a hunger that knows no bounds. But when a series of unexplained disappearances plague Frostwood, the townsfolk begin to fear that the legend may be all too real. Among the missing is Emily, a young woman known for her adventurous spirit and love of the outdoors. Emily, with her fiery red hair and sparkling emerald eyes, was a beacon of life in the otherwise monotonous existence of Frostwood. Her laughter echoed through the valleys, her footsteps treading paths even the bravest dared not venture. She was a force of nature, untamed and free-spirited, her heart beating in tune with the wild. But now, Emily's laughter has faded. Her footsteps, once so full of purpose, have been silenced. Her disappearance, sudden and inexplicable, has left a void in the heart of Frostwood, a void filled with dread and uncertainty. Yet despite the fear that grips the town, a handful of Emily's friends, brave and determined, refuse to give in to despair. Driven by the need to find Emily, they bid farewell to the relative safety of their homes, venturing into the wilderness that had swallowed their friend. With every step they take, the town grows smaller in the distance, the forest looms larger, and the legend of the Wendigo seems less like a tale and more like a chilling reality. Night falls, and the forest is bathed in an eerie silence. The absence of sound is so profound, it's as if the world is holding its breath, waiting for something. The group huddles closer, their breaths creating ghostly clouds in the frigid air. Suddenly, the tranquility shatters like a dropped glass, the shards of silence replaced by the crunching of footsteps in the snow. It's a sound that echoes ominously through the forest, every crunch a drumbeat of impending doom. The group freezes, terror seizing their hearts like icy fingers. From the depths of the darkness, a figure emerges. Its form is twisted and grotesque, a mockery of nature. It's the Wendigo, its eyes blazing with a hunger that is insatiable, a hunger for souls. The sight of it sends a jolt of pure terror through the group, each heartbeat a deafening drum in their ears. A scream, raw and filled with pure terror, rips through the silence. It's the signal they didn't know they were waiting for. The group scatters, their panic transforming into a frantic race for survival. They run blindly through the forest, the snow crunching beneath their feet, the Wendigo in relentless pursuit. The chase is a nightmare come to life, the monstrous creature picking off the group one by one. Each scream of desperation echoes through the forest, a chilling testament to the Wendigo's power. The forest, once a sanctuary, has become a hunting ground, the trees silent witnesses to the unfolding horror. Emily, the last one standing, finds herself cornered, the towering pines standing like prison bars between her and freedom. She comes face to face with the Wendigo, its foul breath hot against her skin, but instead of devouring her, it speaks. Its voice, a chilling whisper, is the stuff of nightmares. It's an accusation, a sentence, a curse. Cornered and alone, Emily comes face to face with the Wendigo, its rancid breath hot against her skin. The words hang heavy in the air, a chilling reminder of the horror that lurks in the wilderness, the curse that is the Wendigo. But instead of consuming her, it speaks, its voice a chilling whisper that sends shivers down her spine. The Wendigo's voice is like the cracking of ice, a sound that resonates within the marrow of her bones. It speaks of a curse, a punishment for the transgressions of mankind. "You have trespassed upon my domain," it says, each word a frosty breath that hangs heavy in the air. The Wendigo, the ancient guardian of the wilderness, accuses Emily and her kind of bringing destruction upon the land. The once pristine forests, the clear running streams, the silent snow-covered hills, all have suffered under the relentless march of progress. The Wendigo's curse is the price to be paid for humanity's disregard for nature. As the Wendigo speaks, Emily feels a cold dread seeping into her. She remembers the tales told by the elders of Frostwood, the warnings of the Wendigo's wrath. She realizes that they were not mere tales to frighten children but a prophecy of what was to come, a prophecy that has now become her reality. The Wendigo reaches out with a clawed hand, its touch as cold as the winter winds. Emily feels a searing pain rip through her, a pain that goes beyond the physical. It's a pain of remorse, of regret for the damage inflicted upon the land she loves. The curse of the Wendigo is not just a punishment, it is a plea. A desperate call for humanity to mend its ways, to respect the land and all its inhabitants. But Emily knows that this plea is falling on deaf ears. The world outside Frostwood is oblivious to the Wendigo's curse, unaware of the price they are paying for their ignorance. And as she falls to the ground, consumed by the darkness, she realizes too late the true horror of the Wendigo's curse. It's not the fear of the creature, nor the pain of the curse that horrifies her, it's the realization that she, like many others, has failed to heed the warnings of the land. The true horror of the Wendigo's curse is the ignorance of mankind, and the destruction it has wrought upon the world. Emily's story serves as a chilling reminder. It is not just a tale of horror and fear, but a lesson that echoes through the eerie silence of the forest. A lesson that reverberates through the rustling of the leaves and the chilling wind that sweeps across the land. This tale of the Wendigo, of Frostwood, and of Emily brings to light a fundamental truth about our existence. We are not merely inhabitants of this world, isolated beings going about our lives. We are, in fact, part of a larger interconnected web of life. Every tree, every creature, every gust of wind and drop of rain is a part of this grand tapestry. But with this connection comes responsibility. The Wendigo, in its terrifying form, carries a message about the dire consequences of our actions when we fail to respect the natural world. Emily and her friends, with their adventurous spirits, ventured into the wilderness without thought for the potential impact of their intrusion. And this is where the true horror of the Wendigo's curse lies, not in its monstrous form or its insatiable hunger, but in its role as the embodiment of nature's wrath. The Wendigo is a manifestation of the land's cry for respect, a chilling reminder of the price we pay when we disregard the sanctity of nature. We must understand that our actions, however small they may seem, can have profound effects. A single step can disturb the silence of the forest, a single touch can mar its pristine beauty. And when we take more than we give, when we harm more than we heal, we invite the curse of the Wendigo. So let Emily's story serve as a warning. Let it remind us to tread lightly, to respect the wilderness, and to honor the land that sustains us. Let it teach us that our survival is intertwined with the survival of the natural world. In the end, we must remember that every action has a consequence, and sometimes those consequences are far more terrifying than we could ever imagine.